Okay, well, everybody knows it's Jack's turn, and Jack, you ready?
No, but I'll try.
Here comes what obviously looks like one of our stronger FSU faculty members up to you with a problem.
Officer,
Yes, sir.
I have a problem. I am Dr. Dunham from the psychology department, and I was over the pool
Yes, sir.
just recently. And there's a man over there who was making lewd advances toward me and soliciting for certain homosexual acts.
Yes, sir.
And I'd like you to go over and see what's going on and maybe put a stop to it.
Okay, sir. Can you give me a brief description of this gentleman?
Yes, I can. He is, he's about 5'8", 5'8.5", 5'9". Black curly hair, black glasses, brown jeans with a big hole in them, brown kind of jacket.
Yes, sir.
And it just looks kind of dopey character, kind of a degenerate character. You know what I mean, sir. I don't have to tell you.
Yes, sir.
But he's over there, and I don't know who else he has propositioned, but he did proposition me briefly. I rebuffed him, and he went away. But who knows who else he is talking to?
Okay, Dr. Denham, did he put his hands on you in any manner?
No, he didn't. He didn't get
exactly,
that far.
how did he approach you?
Well, the proper term is fellatio. That's what
Yes,
he
sir.
said that he wanted to, in the psych department, we call it that anyway.
Yes, sir.
They decided, that's what he said. He said, would you like to? And I said, get away, young man, I don't care for that. And he left. Or rather, I left. He's still there. I guess he could have left, I don't know. You know, those types, they may just stay on. They want to get caught, some of them, you know.
Yes, sir. Doctor, now, are you willing to prefer charges against this individual?
Well, I'd really rather not get involved if it's at all possible. I'm working on a government research project right now, and I'd rather keep my name out of it if it's all possible. I've given you a brief, as good a description as I can remember. He's over there at the pool, sitting on the side. So.
Okay, Doctor. As I understand it, you do not want to press charges against this individual. So what I will do, I will go and see this individual. I'll get his identification, and I'll make a record.
Well, I want to see this thing is stopped. This kind of thing can't go on this campus. I just would rather not implicate myself. You know, these kinds of morals charges have all sorts of implications, even if you're the innocent one.
Right. Yes, sir. I understand. But now, see, I did not see the act take
place. Yes, I understand that, sir.
Now, as far as legality is concerned, this is a misdemeanor.
A misdemeanor.
Right now, in a misdemeanor, either I have to see it take place in my presence before I can arrest the individual.
I see.
Or the individual that saw the act take place must prefer charges.
Oh, I see.
So now, what I'm asking you, do you want to prefer charges? This is the only way that I can arrest this individual.
Yes, I guess I'd better.
You do want
yes,
to?
I guess my conscience would bother me if I didn't.
Okay, now you've given me a rough description of the individual. Now I notice there are several hundred people over there at the pool at this time. So what I would like you to do is go over with me and you point out this individual to me, so that we can be sure we have the right party. Because if we, you don't want to prefer charges against an individual that is
right. I understand. It's very efficient. Okay, yes, I'll point him out.
All right, sir.
I'll point him out. That's the chance. Do you need me for anything else, sir?
If you'll stay right here. But let me ask you this. Why don't you go in there to the security office? I'll take your name and you'll sign a form. Okay? Okay, yes. Thank you very much. How are you today, sir?
Oh, fine.
Good. May I see your identification, sir?
Can I ask what this is for?
Sir, we've received a minor complaint about an individual here at the pool, and you do fit the description, so I would like to see your identification this time.
Could you tell me what the complaint was?
Yes, sir. One of our staff members here, faculty members, were approached by an individual here at the pool area, and you do vaguely fit this description.
Wait a minute. What did he look like?
Sir, I cannot. I'm not liberty to give you that information right now.
Well, somebody approached me too.
Is that right?
Yeah, so you better get this guy.
Right, so
he had red hair and he had a sideburns.
Okay, just let me see your identification.
Okay, here it is.
Take it out of your wallet, please.
There's my voter registration, and there's my draft card.
Paula,
there's my fake ID.
Paula, are you a student here at FSU?
Yeah, I have another one here somewhere.
I need to see your faculty or student card, if you don't mind.
Seems some other officer took it sometime. Oh, I know where it is. It's here. Here it is.
Okay. Paul, let me explain this to you. This professor came up to me and gave me this complaint. Now, I'm not saying you're innocent, nor am I saying you're guilty. What I would like you to do is to go down to headquarters with me, and this is not actually a lineup or anything like that. I want you to not really come face to face.
Can you really do this? I mean, can he really do this? I mean, I didn't do anything like that. I mean, I never would do anything like that.
Paul, I understand. I'm not saying you have done anything like this. All I'm trying to do is clear this matter up.
But, well, don't I have a right to know who it was that made this accusation, or do I?
Yes, sir, you have a right. Headquarters, and if he does identify you, then of course he's going to bring charges against you, and then you will be given your rights at this time.
Well, you know, he might be able to identify me as someone he saw and just say that, well, he's the one, and then I'm going to get him, and I didn't do anything.
Right, Paul, you will have the time to have your say, but right now I do have a complaint, and we do need to go down and clear this up. I'm sure, you being a student here, well, let's say you are a senior here at Florida State, and I'm sure you want to get this cleared up as much as I do.
Yeah, I want to get it cleared up, but boy, I was just sitting here and suddenly I got to go to the police station.
All right, well, Paul, now,
can this guy get in trouble if I didn't do anything and he made this accusation falsely?
Well, now that's going to be left up to you. I have not arrested you at this time. All I'm doing, I'm asking you to come down to headquarters with me. This gentleman says that he's willing to file a complaint against you.
For what did you say he was complaining? For lewd conduct?
Right, lewd conduct, yes, for approaching him. And this will be the charge brought against you if he recognizes you, and then that will be, of course, less.
Well, he can get in a lot of trouble for that, can't he?
I'm not saying you can, or may not, sir. All I'm saying is that it'll be left up between you two and the court to decide this. All I'm here is to take you down and let him either identify you or not identify you.
Well, okay, let's go.
Okay.
Okay, Jeff? Okay, again, we're still down the swimming pool, and you're still patrolling down there, and going to have a pretty young lady run up to you, Paul. What are you going to do when she complains?
Officer!
Yes, sir.
There's a black fellow by the swimming pool that's just exposed himself towards me. I wish you'd do something about it.
Yes, ma'am. Could you give me a description?
He's black, got a light-colored shirt on, curly hair. I don't know. They all look the same to me.
Approximate height?
Oh, I really don't know. He's about your height, I'd say.
Weight?
Medium.
What exactly did he do?
I was walking by and he came up to me and he pulled down his pants and said, "Her, her, her." And I just walked away, of course.
What kind of clothes does he wear?
Pants and shoes and shirt.
Okay, color?
Black.
Total?
Black.
Black.
Yellow. A pale top with a zipper front and pants. Yes.
Okay, what is your name, please?
Valerie, Valerie. Naaman, Naiman.
N-A-I?
M-A-N. A-N, right.
Are you a student there?
Yes, yes, sir, I am.
Okay, would you be willing to file a complaint?
Definitely.
In this offense?
Definitely would.
Okay, let's walk over where we can. Where is he at?
He's by the swimming pool. Fine, I'll take you to him.
Main
I'll go
gate?
with you. Yes.
Well, we don't need to get where he can see you.
Fine.
Primarily just use him pointing him out. We'll arrange a confrontation later.
That's him right there, sir.
That's him. Okay. I'll go talk with this individual and establish his identity and all. And if you're definitely sure that you want to file a complaint,
No, definitely sure.
then follow it
No
through.
nigger's gonna pull down his pants in front of me, by God.
Okay. All right. If you would wait here.
Yeah, I'll wait here.
While I go talk
I'll
to
wait
him.
right here.
Okay.
I want something done about it
Better
now.
Yet. Okay. Better yet. Do you know where the FSU security office is?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How about going up and waiting there?
Well, then.
And I'll bring you.
And you're going to bring him with you.
Right.
Be sure to bring him with you.
I will.
All right.
Good afternoon, sir.
What's happening, officer?
Are you a student at FSU, sir?
No, I'm a student from A&M. I just came over to visit some friends over at the pool.
Do you have a student ID from family?
Right.
Okay, Mr. Browdy.
No, Brody.
Brody.
Right.
Sorry.
Okay, Mr. Brody, I have had a complaint filed against you by a person.
I mean, what you mean?
A young lady has identified you as a perpetrator of a sexual offense.
Me?
Yes, sir.
Now, what I supposed to be? What young lady?
That's not for me to say, sir. She is charged.
I mean, what you mean? Not for you to say. I mean, you come up to me and tell me, I'm over here visiting my friend. You come over and tell me that some young lady said that I indulged in some kind of perverted act or something.
Yes, sir. She charged you with indecent exposure. I can't identify her to you for protection of the witness should the charge prove valid.
Where do I get protection from? I mean, she could tell you anything.
Yes, sir, she could, but she would have to file a complaint and take it to court for anything to be done on it.
Well, tell me this. Was this a black young lady or a white young lady?
It's white.
White?
Yes, sir.
Well, that's serious anyway. I mean, if you run, you don't stole something. I mean, I just been sitting down and, digging on the scene, watching, people swim and everything. And you come telling me that I raped that I exposed myself to somebody.
Well, sir, this is a complaint that's been made to me. I have to act on the complaint. Now, it's a misdemeanor type complaint. So
well, you got to show me this young lady. I mean, we got to talk about
I'd rather
this.
not.
Well, I'm sorry, officer, but I mean, I just can't go on no bullshit like this. I mean, you just come up and tell me that, I did this when I know I just been sitting down. I mean, I had witnesses a few minutes ago sitting right here on the side of me.
Yes, sir.
And I don't even remember seeing this young lady.
Okay. Do you know that your witness's name?
Right, George Clark, still with Smith Hall.
George Clark.
Right.
Oh. Okay, Mr. Berry, I'd like to ask you to come down to the security office where you can participate in a confrontation.
Well, I'm not going no damn well, Not me.
Well, it would be a lot simpler, sir, if you
What you mean a lot simpler? I mean, just somebody come up and tell you that this happened, and you're just going to take me off to jail.
No, sir, not to jail.
Well, you're not going to take me nowhere.
No, well, this is up to you, sir. You can come, or you can stay here, and she can file a warrant.
Well, I tell you what, I'll stay here.
All right, now, I'd like to inform you of one thing, though. If you did go up now, and she looked at you through, say, a one-way glass, and did not identify you as the subject, that would automatically eliminate you, which would save you a lot of trouble later on. If she does insist that you are the individual and takes it to court, it's going to take your time and her time and my time.
Well, I'm staying here.
If you are innocent, as you say, we could come up and she could take a look at you and say yes or no.
Well, I'm staying there. She can come here and look at me. If she could stand there and tell you that I did this, she can stand here in front of me and you both and identify me here.
Well, sir, she has already identified you to me.
Well, anybody can identify you to me,
Yes, sir. So, if you choose not to accompany me to the
I choose
station.
not to.
Very well, sir. I have your name, your address, student number, and identification.
Well, you got my name, but you don't have my address. I like to inform you that I moved the other day.
What is your current address, sir?
Oh, I don't know. I forgot.
Do you have a driving license?
No, I don't. I don't drive.
Well, we have your student number. I'm sure your school knows where you live.
Well, that's false, too, so. I mean, you really don't have anything. Just my picture. Just all black people look alike. You don't really have that.
Well, sir, we'll see how this works out. If she chooses to file a complaint, you'll be...
Oh, I'll be here when you get back. I'll be here when you get back.
Alrighty. I'll count on that. Thank you.
Okay, Paul.
Okay, well, let's move over to the other side of this. Court here for now. Move over to the other campus over there. And we have another nice young complainant. Joe, it's your turn again. Here she comes. Get ready.
Officer, I just saw this white dude over there at Lee Hall without any clothes on. You gotta do something about it right now.
Can you identify him here?
Yes, he has long hair. He doesn't have on any clothes. He didn't, rather. And that's the only thing I can tell you about it. She's white, though. Very distinguished. Very distinguished.
How tall is it?
She's about 5'11".
That's all you can identify him by 5'11".
Yes, he's the only white guy over at Lee Hall. I can identify him. There he is right there.
What?
Right, see? Right there.
That's him, Marilyn?
Right.
Okay, are you willing to file a complaint?
I am right now.
What did he do to you? How did you
He didn't do anything. He was naked. I'm making a complaint that he was indecent exposed.
Oh, he never wanted to close the time you saw him.
Really? Didn't.
Okay, would you mind waiting here until I check him out?
No, I'll go over here with you and show you to him. Come on. That's him. That's the bastard right there.
Hey, brother, what's happening?
He ain't your damn brother. He's not your brother. He's not your brother. Is he your brother?
What kind of shit is that?
Okay,
He's
I have a
not
complaint.
What's with you?
No, you were naked a few minutes ago, standing out here in front of the
What
What
are you talking about?
What the hell are you doing
like
over
you're really
here
here for a
anyway?
race issue. That's what it sounds
I'm
like.
not over here for a race
I come
issue.
over
You're
here-
over here for a race issue.
Okay.
Why don't you go back over there on the other side?
Okay, you big white. Let me talk to you.
What is this shit? I come over here.
I'm making a complaint.
Okay,
About what?
You were naked in front
Oh,
of the Hall
come on.
Administration
What the hell would I be doing coming over here? I'll tell you what I was over here for.
Can I
come
talk to
over.
you a minute? Okay, I need to talk to you. You still with her? Okay, she made a complaint that she was over here in front of Lee Hall naked. How long have you been here?
I've been here about 10, 15 minutes just sitting around. Yeah, I help a drama class over here, and I was waiting for everybody to come up. That's why I don't like that. I can't take that race shit. I come over here all the time.
Yeah,
Sure do. Come over here all the time, and she comes over here and treats me like I'm some sort of white
First
piece of
time
shit.
you were over here naked, huh? Right?
What is that crap?
Well, you go back
I wasn't over here.
Oh,
No, don't give me that shit.
Don't put your hands
Well,
on
you
me.
get
Don't
back
put
over
your
here.
hands on
Let
me.
me-
Yeah, I'll tell you who the naked one was. Probably him, the way he's got his goddamn hands all
No,
over.
I saw you. I'm making a complaint against you,
Yeah, well, I think
bastard.
I think it's because of racial prejudice. That's what I think.
Well, so
That's
it is.
shit.
What you gonna do about it? What you gonna do about
Then
it?
I say you're probably lying because I'm white.
I'm not.
Let's move back over here.
I don't think this is funny. I think this is tragic.
Okay, yeah.
This is
How long have
what's
you
wrong
been-
with America today. Is because of
how long
shit like
have you
this.
been here?
I've been here about 10, 15 minutes. I'm waiting for the people to come.
What people are you waiting
I'm waiting for the people from the drama department.
for?
Yeah, you can check that out with them.
Okay,
I sure am. FSU Theater Department.
Yeah.
You gonna stand and let him rap that shit to you?
Well, are you willing to go down and file a complaint?
I am. I'm ready right now. Come on. All
Hey,
three of us.
wait a minute.
Take him too.
I think the only reason she's filing this shit is because I'm white, and it's her word
You
against
damn
my word.
straight. You were naked.
Hey, did you hear that? Did you hear that? That's racial prejudice right there.
Okay, I'm gonna put both of you in jail for it.
No, you can't put us in jail now.
Oh, yes,
Can you put us in jail?
Yes,
I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. Both of you need to file So, I would ask both of you to come down to the office if you want to file a complaint.
How you like that, you bitch? How do you like that? Because you got me
You gonna
mouthing
let
off,
him
you got
call
us
me a
both
bitch?
arrested.
Let's go both of you. Let's go in the office.
I'm not going in.
I'm going along with her.
You're not
She may be a bitch, but I'm going to stay here.
You're not going anywhere. Okay. You want to file a complaint, right?
I am. I'm
I
going
have
to
your
file
ID.
it.
Where do you live at?
Where do I live at?
Yeah.
Down on Macomb Street.
Macomb, what's the name?
1214.
1214.
Yeah.
You like to mix something?
That's right. I live in. That's right. I live in Frenchtown. What about it?
I swear.
Okay, young lady, you have to come down and file an official complaint.
What about her getting arrested for vile language?
Well-
Boy, she embarrassed the shit out of me. I don't think this is funny, man. You sit here laughing. We have a racial issue right here.
I'm filing a complaint against this bastard here. He was standing in front of our administration
That's your
building
word. That's
naked.
your word against
And you're
That's left up to the law of court for you for them to decide whether you was telling the truth.
Yeah, I just hope
I mean,
the court
he's-
can see between black and white, because she certainly
He's
can't.
different from us. Let's
Well,
just go and
doesn't
arrest
make any
him.
difference about the
It's just one of him. What
Hey,
is
you
going
hear
to
that?
get him?
You hear that?
Shut up.
Hey, fuck you.
Fuck you.
When?
Right now.
All right.
Wow.
Oh, okay, John.
Let's get back in the circle here.
Sorry about my. I noticed,
we have no secrets here. I noticed that, we got apathetic. After a while, we get apathetic. And suddenly, some sparks started flying there at the end. Some interest was cultivated again. Ron, what were you thinking about? I noticed you were getting a little upset there, especially during the last part. Same situation now. I'm not going to take Ron off the hook for a minute, but I noticed Ron was getting very upset. I'm going to get back over here because some of you people are getting upset too. But here we had essentially the same situation as we had a half an hour ago, and everybody was sitting back there lackadaisical, or white on white, no problem, black on black, no problem. Suddenly we get a little combination going, and it's not the same situation anymore, is it, Joe?
It's that. It's a little more realistic.
A little more realistic?
Yeah, that's what's happening. Yeah, and they did a good job of acting.
It almost seemed like real. Well, what were you thinking about, Ron? You were getting, looked like you were getting charged up there.
Well, first of all, I've never been involved in a case like that.
Oh.
And I noticed the fact. I kept wondering why you always have the witness to go down to the station. No, I don't. But I didn't think all the name calling was necessary, and if I had been an officer, especially in my presence, because everybody's supposed to be civil, and they're supposed to respect me, and I didn't think all that was necessary.
Well, probably not.
And like Joe said, I think I took them both down, placed them both on the arrest for misconduct, something.
Using, I think, lewd language or something.
Yeah.
I forget what it is, but there is a statute against using profane language in public. That's always a good out, anyways, isn't it?
It's true.
What do you think, Paul? Did you have any problems because it was a black student this time? It wasn't from your campus?
No, the deal there is not to even actually hear any racial slurs by the complainant or the subject, because they tried to build a racial camaraderie with you against the third person.
Certainly, that's the idea.
Just ignore it.
Can you do that, Paul? Not hear it?
I hear it. It doesn't affect me. I think, well, maybe, it's unfortunate if that's your attitude.
But recognize when a misdemeanor is committed like this, unless you see it, what are your grounds to apprehend the person? I think, Paul did the right thing enough without the complaint and everything else. Is it false arrest, maybe? Did you run a little risk there? Is it maybe the situation maybe isn't as is explained, and Paul went and got the name and everything as best you could to identify.
Being in a situation could actually go either way. Right. It's just as well to let the court issue the warrant first, and then that absolves you of any risk of
certainly does. Joe, how did things get out of hand with you? Of course, you were set up, you know that.
A situation like that, I would have called another officer in to, assist me on that. Because once you go out there and you get in a situation like this where, a racial issue, which they was making, well, you might wind up with two in a big fight or something. The best to always get someone to help you out when you're going on call.
What's your hall over there that you don't go near? We have Smith Hall, I remember. What happens if this has been outside Gibbs Hall?
I don't know. It's probably going to be right out there.
Well, what did you guys think of me as a person, not as Steve Rothman, who you know in the class, but as a person who's up there saying that kind of crap?
Well, actually, being you, one person, I don't think you would have said that.
Yeah, well.
This is my opinion.
But again, if I was going to call and you out there by yourself, I would have to move you out.
In that case, the officer had asked for your ID card and you gave it to him. Well, I think that instead of letting the situation get out of hand, he had your identification, then he should have just let you go and then talk to the girl and explain to her that she would have to get a warrant. He have your identification and to separate the two of you before all this happened.
Joe had enough sense. He stood between them. You notice Joe was sidestepping in there every opportunity he could. He was sidestepping to keep them apart from each other.
I'd like to change the vein of this conversation a little bit. We got an individual in this contingent of actors that there's a couple of things happened with him, and the thing that happened today, I think, is the one that speaks the best of him. And his name's Jay Siegel. I think Jay deserves to be heard.
Before I talk, I'd like to make one thing clear. I'm here out of my own accord. Actually, I've been dismissed early from the project because I took liberties I wasn't supposed to. And in doing that day when Ron pulled me over, I sized up the situation, and I followed directions from my director even outside. I didn't play pals, and I was obviously adolescent and obnoxious, overly so. And I did go pretty far with it, even too far, I think. It didn't leave me fulfilled or satisfied. There was no good feelings about putting one over on the cop. There was nothing like that. I did take the character to where that whole way because the car didn't belong to me. I do apologize to you personally, Ron, for taking liberties I shouldn't have, and also to the project because I really put it in jeopardy.
I just want to say something, Jay, that I don't really think an apology is necessary. I think just you being enough of a man to come in here and do what you're doing right now speaks itself, and I think that everybody here agrees with that. But I just got one question, and the time's getting tight. All right, but go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
Well, I really would like to make a comment about in defense of all the actors in here. I think let's try to remember that those actors, whether they're professional, whether they're a criminology student from FSU, they're doing it, probably they're doing something for the first time in their life, and that is not acting. They probably, we're accustomed to acting where it's really acting on a stage. Everybody was conscious of it. There's a wall that we are breaking, and there's a little bit of reality in it. And I think that we are somewhat training those people to be hostile to police. And from simple knowledge, if we know what his training is, and probably every time that Bernard Durham will, the experience that he has in the last week or two, that every time he has a policeman, he is hostile against him. He has to be conscious that this is really, and it is in a very realistic situation. So we are breaking a big wall that is not acting, and it's kind of half reality. And we are training them in a hostile situation against police. So they are in a very difficult situation, all the actors. And they we should try to be all conscious of it, that the goal of the project is really not only for the policemen to be tolerated, to know how to tolerate it, also for the actors to train themselves so they benefit from this experience and not to carry it outside. I think they are in a difficult situation.
Let me say one thing, and this will bring up into what's going to start happening in this for the next couple of weeks, and that is what Jay said, about how the order was that the actors are not supposed to get friendly. If you ever noticed, the FSU actors, not the people we brought in from criminology, from FAMU, but if you ever noticed, they were never here when you left, because Alex and I made a decision that you shouldn't get to know them till now. We were saving this so that we could talk, because otherwise, well, you saw what happened in here. Everybody knows me, and so it was good times. Let's act a little bit with Steve. But over here, you didn't know these people, and even though you worked with them, there was a barrier. Whereas we're on a different type of basis. So starting next week, now they can talk to you when they see you on the campus, and everything's fine. But starting next week, we're going to bring in the real people who have real attitudes towards you that they're going to bring into the studio. People like the Rick Johnsons, the Kim Rogers, the president of the student body, not Jack Lieberman, but people who have real attitudes that I'm not going to have to say, see, their real attitude is they happen to like you guys. I mean, maybe a couple of them in here say, well, Tom scares me. And that Tom's a big monster, and I don't want to go near him. That's what they always used to tell me. But I mean, deep down inside, they liked you all. And starting next week, we're going to bring in people that I'm not going to have to say, don't meet them, because they're they may not like you from the minute they walk in.
John, what were you going to say?
Okay, I just want to say we only got 2 minutes left, and I think that the lesson we can learn right here is that we're all human beings sitting around in this circle in this studio, and that some of us might hold a label that some people call cop, or somebody might say I'm along here, but I don't put much stock in that. I think that we're just all human beings, and we're not going to make it unless we get it all together and get ourselves together. And that's one important lesson that I think we ought to keep up front.
Does it affect Jay's drama thing?
No.
Because it's not really necessary. There's nothing personal.
No.
We need to know if it's anything. As far as him staying in the program, it doesn't.
Right.
You know, I don't care. And it's, you know, if it affects him drama, I see no reason for it. There's no reason why he can't stay in here. I mean, as far as I'm. You know,
don't feel guilty, Ron. Jay's done a solid, and Jay's not going to get any kind of persecution because I think Jay's got a lot of stuff together.
Yeah. By the way, Ron, you were great. Great. When you walked away, my roommate said, "I don't believe you're not arrested."
All right, well, that's about it, I guess.
Yeah, this is good.
So next week, it's a real live thing.
All right, see you all next week.